I always admired Quentin. And I was here with a couple of Aussie journalists who had just come from interviewing Quentin. And they said, Tarantino really digs you. And I said, forget it. About 4 or 5 months later, he calls, no agent, no casting director, nothing like that. He calls my business manager's office. I want to talk to Rod. And so I got the message and I said, what's the number? So I called saying, which one of my drunken friends is, doing it this early in the morning? He comes out of a casting meeting, and it is Quentin Tarantino. We start talking like a couple of old women for at least an hour about his movies, my movies, our movies, somebody else's movies, movies, like we've known each other for 20 years. And finally I said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm making a movie about World War II. I thought, well, okay, yeah. And he said, well, not really World War II, it's kind of it's a World War II. I said, okay, what do you want me to do for you? I'll do anything. And I very nearly retracted that. But he said, I want you to play Winston Churchill. I said, you're shooting in Germany? He said, yeah. Does that matter? And I said, well, you're right across the channel from England, and there's Albert Finney. He's done Churchill about 6 times. And he said, if Rod Taylor turns me down, I'll call Albert Finney. Well, there's your friend for life. I would have done anything for him. And so that's how it happened. That is a proud endeavor, Lieutenant.
Well said, sir. Cheers. Cheers.
Cut. That was brilliant. That was great. Check the game. Check the game.
I saw Quentin direct, and it was the most exciting, exhilarating thing I've ever seen. He sits behind the cameraman, whether he's on the sticks or on a dolly, he's sitting right behind him, and he's focusing on the scene, and he loves his actors. And there are only 3 of us in the whole scene. And he's focusing with delight on his face, or intense kind of interest in every word. And there's none of this crap of a monitor in another room and a director screaming directions. He's right there on top of it. And, just loving every single minute of it.
So this is heaven. Steady your finger. Okay, I'm sorry, I fucked it up.
When you're pleased to think, that take really worked. That was great. He'd say, fantastic. Let's go again. And you think, what? And he said, why we go again? Because we love making movies.
We're going to do one more. What? Because we love making movies.
I'm very lucky to have worked with some monumental directors. I mean, George Stevens, John Ford. I mean, Jack and I were very close, did some wonderful work. Hitchcock, Jack Cardiff is Quentin loves Jack Cardiff because he's got a wonderful visual kind of directorial sense, a photographic director. But I noticed about Quentin immediately, I've never met such a passionate young director.
We're going to move in on the Prime Minister.
I think Quentin, by his sheer outrageous going against the rules and making something exciting and electrifying will stand out more than any of the people I've told you I admire. He will make a difference to the way people regard movies. You know, I saw things like Pulp Fiction about 6 or 7 times. It was crazy. Became a drug because he just did things and got inside you and got a message across that the others were merely giving you as a gift. We've photographed this scene, now look at it. And he says, can you take this? Look at it. It's a difference. It's an excitement, and it's new to making movies. I mean, the set was electric, I thought, because of him, and that's Quentin. He's crazy, genius crazy. And I loved every second of it. And to watch a man like that work is a treat.
We have to do a picture wrap right now on the great Rod Taylor.